Alright boys and girls, this is Bob Martin, the RCSubGuy with the Nautilus Dry Docks. It is a new week, and we're going to be delving deep into some more RC submarine awesomeness. We got a Typhoon back there that we need to get wet. I've got a watertight cylinder that needs to get modified, and we got to get this guy painted up, finished and tested. Can we do it? Who knows? You're going to have to watch to find out. Thanks for joining me. Let's get this week started. Recap. Where we left off last week was highly modifying this 100mm R&R watertight cylinder. The guts were all done, and we were going to be moving on to power feedingness on this thing. Customer got with me after he saw this video, and he's like, hey Bob, would you rig up the pump for me? I don't want to rig up that pump. Would you do it for me? So I'm like, of course I'll do it for you. But you got to give me money, and that's how it works. So that's what we're going to do. And it's pretty simple, to be brutally honest with you. Got a little electronic speed controller here. This is a gear motor from a Peugeot or something overseas. It's a gear pump from a car for the windshield washer pump. We're going to take the electronic speed controller, wire it in, do a little testy test, make sure it works, and then that aspect will be done. We're going to move on to installing a power input for the watertight cylinder, and then we're going to build a battery compartment. It literally took me 2 minutes. Motor leads, power, and pump. Ta-da! Time for some power. I've grouped the two power leads from both of the electronic speed controllers, the one for the motor and the one for the pump, which is underneath there. Coming out here, we got this, and we got some wire. It's going to run up here, and it's going to come out here. But now we need to have a perforation in the end cap, and it needs to be watertight. So let's go about doing that. What I've got, some 5/32 brass tube, which is tested to fit perfectly over the wire. You'll see what we're getting at in here in a minute. Now we need to make 2 holes, right there and there, and we'll put our brass tube in it. So this is what we got going on here. Fed the wire through, comes out the brass tube. I left about 1/2 inch sticking out. And then you want some silicone tube that will just clear the wire and will fit snugly on the brass tubing here. We're all done. This is what it looks like. The neat thing about this, by the way, is you can move the wire in and out if you tug it carefully in there, so you can adjust the tension however you need to. So that is all done. Now I'm working on the battery compartment, and these are just leftover end caps that I had from when I was doing those DIY compartments. I got the power cable in here for the battery that hooks up here. And now we are going to put the seals on here, but I noticed when I tested it, it was a loose fit. And when that happens with these inside facing cylinders, what you do is you wrap a little Teflon tape around this channel right there, and that will increase the or decrease the depth of the channel and increase the tension on the seal, or the friction, the force. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on both sides, and then the battery compartment will be done, cylinder will be done, it'll all be done. And as easy as that, we're all done. Battery goes in there, this connects to that, everything works, in theory. When you're doing these, just check your seals. Now, do you notice there's like a really dark band around the middle, and it should be, you know, about 1 millimeter thick, well, depending on your O-ring. That's the flat part that's interfacing with the cylinder. If you go all the way around, you should not see a break in that super solid line. So just watch that. The other thing I did, I thought this was actually pretty cool. I used zip ties on here, which works fine. But when you do those, there's like a little gap in there. That could be problematic. And I thought, you know what, let's use some O-rings. And that puts equal pressure around the entire perimeter there. I like this. I like this a lot. That worked good. The only thing is, if you need to swap those out, you got to do this, take this connection apart. Right? So I'm going to put this all together. Let Stacy know that his cylinder's done. And we're going to move on to some sharkification. One last quick thing before I forget. Obviously, this needs to be tested as well. Got the hose here. So usually the way I do this, I'll pressure it up, I'll hold it, and if it retains that pressure for like 10 or 20 seconds, it's probably sealed. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now. Again, you can see that dark line on the seals, so you know that those are interfacing nice. What I'm really testing are my perforations that I put in the end there. So we're gonna do a little blow. You can pinch it off, and we'll wait. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's listen. Oh yeah, the whisper of success. Well, I'm going to wrap things up in the shop here with, or I did wrap things up in the shop here with a little more paint application on the shark. Just kind of doing a thing. Streak it with a slightly different color of gray. Modeled it with some black to break up the grayness. So we're gonna let this percolate overnight, get it all nice and dry, and then tomorrow morning we'll attack the eyeballs, the nostrils, the teeth, and gosh, I think she's gonna be done. So at this point it is Sunday morning, and we got word that Nicholas and the dive crew are interested in and able to head out and do one final recovery effort for the USS Texas. If you watched my video last week, you'll have seen they managed to recover the lower hull of the battleship for Alex, which was pretty cool. And so we're going to be heading out, and we'll see. Now, word has that Travis, the diver that we had there earlier that got kicked out from the park rangers, is bringing a crew of 5 people with him. So, by people, I mean divers. There's going to be actual 5 divers in the water. So this is going to be super cool. If there's ever a chance to recover the boat, it is going to be now. Let's see what happens.
Hey, this is Nicholas Redzikevich. I'm working here at the Nautilus Dry Docks on this submarine recovery project. Behind me here, we've got the team of 2 divers. We got 2 folks out picking up the last bits of the battleship, which we know exactly where that wreck site is. And then we got 2 other divers. Travis, the team lead, is doing arcs, sweeping across back and forth the point where that sonar contact was from our last video on the subject. So we're hoping to find it here amidst the weeds. Here, everyone cheer! Yay! Ah!
here with the crew, and let's do introductions again. So this is, you've seen Nicholas in the videos before. He's the one who's orchestrated this whole recovery effort. Without him, this would not have happened. And we got a team of divers here. We got,
how are you, Chris
and Travis.
How you doing?
And we didn't Jeff. And we got Jesse in the background. So let's go. They found the boat. Let's go take a look at it for the first time. We lost the ASDS. If you guys really want a challenge, you can try and find that. Nice. Wow.
You can see her fail seats did trigger.
Yeah.
Still in.
Yeah. All the planes are in full rise.
So her systems worked.
The paint's all bubbled. Wow. Interesting. Yeah, it like separated. All right, interesting. I don't suppose anybody's got a little pair of pliers or something.
Electronics.
Yeah, I was thinking more along the lines of if there's like crabs and critters, we might swish them out here before
I got a big bag to put it in for you.
So yeah,
It was right where the sonar contact was.
Was it so like literally just right out here?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The weeds. I was in weeds were just mad nasty.
Really? So was it buried down by the bottom or like halfway up or?
Real soft silt. So pretty much the first third towards the stern was all underneath. So
Got
it was only from that little decal to the forward. It was all that was up out of the silt.
And so the stern was buried or the nose was buried?
The stern.
The stern was buried.
That's what I ended up kicking was the nose.
I would imagine the cylinder after 2 months is probably full of water. Yeah. Although you told me my little box
Yeah, it's on my car.
was dry.
Yeah, it's completely dry. It never touched a drop of water.
Wow. So that's it. We're done. The divers said they found it exactly where we figured it went down, right over there. So there were a lot of guesses by a lot of people about where it was, including like sucked up into the fountain and lodged up on the side. But at the end of the day, it was exactly where we thought it was going to be. That water is still pretty terrible. A little better than what it was. And we've got Alex, the owner of the battleship here.
RCSubGuy, if you check out his YouTube channel, he's got a video tutorial on waterproofing these batteries. This battery is dead. Yes.
Here's the moment of truth. Well, we know what we're going to see, but it'll confirm it. It's dry. It's dry. Oh no, there's water. It's half full.
Yeah, I think it's half full.
Half full of water. Well, I mean, could have been worse.
I think that thing's fine.
Well, okay, and it's actually pretty clean inside. There's no monsters or creatures or.
Should we
Okay.
unplug the battery just to not have a dead battery?
I don't think it's going to hurt anything at this point. It's just a chunk of metal at this point.
Yeah.
Well,
Boat's back.
it's back. Now the work begins.
Yep.
Yikes. And we almost forgot about my test box for the piezo. So you guys remember we dropped it down and it got lost. So this has been down there for over a month, six weeks. The inside, completely immaculate. Not one drop of water. I'm flabbergasted. That's like incredible. These boxes, I tell you, these boxes from S3, these are the secret sauce right here. So on our way home, in Houston traffic, it's so awesome. On a Sunday, no less. That was an interesting experience. It was a little like otherworldly. We kind of like showed up and we had a little conversation and then everybody dispersed. It was really quick and kind of like anticlimactic. The plan now is to get the boat home, strip out the cylinder, open it up, wash everything out, get all the algae and little snails and whatever else is in there out. get her in the shop, and then tomorrow we'll do a true in-depth analysis. We'll see if we can figure out why this thing sank and why it ended up stern first in the muck in the bottom of the pond. So we're back home, and this is the Texas. I'm gonna bust out the hose. We're gonna give her a good hose. It's such a bad turn of events that paint blistered so bad. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we can talk the owner into keeping it as it is. Who knows? So here's our cylinder. Oh, that's not half full. It's like a third full of water. That's not bad at all. Wow. Okay. The ballast tank was completely full, but it's been draining, which is weird. It shouldn't, because it has to flow through the pump and the solenoid. Although, oh, we got rid of the solenoid. That's why. It's just flowing through the pump, doing its thing. All right, I'm gonna crack this thing open and take a quick look at it. So I'm in the shop here. Cracked the cylinder open. I cracked the cylinder open and it hissed out air pressure. Here's my thought. That cylinder was holding pressure. It was at 10 feet of depth for 2 months. So I'm assuming that the pressure equalized at that point. The water that came in, that little third of the cylinder, was enough to equalize the pressure inside and out so that no additional water came in. We pulled it out, did not touch it. It sat for 2 hours. And when I cracked it, it was hissing pressure. This is telling me something. This was not a catastrophic leak scenario. This thing did not take on a massive amount of water, become upset, and die. I think over the course of 2 months, the water trickled in a drop at a time. Probably if I would have left this for another 2 months on my workbench, the pressure would be equal. It wouldn't have hissed when I undid the bolts. So, I have a thought. I think what happened, when the boat went down, it plowed into some weeds and it folded over the forward dive planes. And as the boat moved forward, the weeds acted like a fulcrum and pulled the nose down. So it went in, snagged, down, jammed into the bottom of the weeds, and eventually settled there, held by those weeds wrapped over the hull. I don't think Texas was let down by her tech, or by the cylinder, or by configuration, or by trim. I think she hit some weeds, got pulled down to the bottom, got wrapped up and fouled, and couldn't get back up again. This could have happened to any boat, be it a dynamic diver, static diver, a pump-based system, a gas-based system. It would not have made a difference. Okay, it is Monday morning. Had a little chance to sleep. Not that it was an awesome sleep, but I had a chance to sleep. Let's take stock of where we're at. So this is Texas. You can see all of these blisters in the paint finish. And what I find super interesting is it's only the upper hull. The lower hull is completely fine and smooth and not a problem. Originally I was thinking, oh man, this boat has such a story to it now. It would be and patina, it would be really cool just to clear this and preserve it. But that decision ultimately isn't up to me. It's up to the customer. And here's the other issue. Let's see here. Let's find a good one. The little blisters here, if we kind of chip away at it, you can see there's water still trapped underneath. So I was thinking, oh man, maybe we could just scratch these off, and then you'd have a little texture, it's all good. Underneath is going to be black from the weathering. You'll have these black holes. So, options. Strip it all down, bring it right down to the plastic, repaint it, and everything. Here's the other challenge. Current president of the United States has done away with the de minimis exception for importing goods, and as such, a lot of vendors overseas have stopped shipping to the United States. A lot. This is a problem because Otto over in Czech Republic is the gentleman that does this kit and does all the decals. So basically, decals not available anymore. Be looking at creating custom ones. That sucks. Well, I'll reach out to the customer and see what he wants to do. Let's take a look at the cylinder. So, it's not bad, but it's bad. I can see that the water only did come up to a certain level in the cylinder, so it's actually pretty clean. It's not terrible, but you can see on the bottom where it did. So the motor is very not happy. Spins nice and free. I'll bet you it would roll over if I threw some power at it. Of course, the servos are going to be completely flooded. It looks like the switch for the auxiliary propulsion pump, that's going to be all shot. And the electronic speed controller for the main drive motor is probably okay. This is an M-Tronics unit, and they pot their electronic speed controllers, so they're waterproof. So, stern compartment, we're talking reversing switch, motor, servos, and there's a small chance the receiver is still good. And I highly doubt the electronic pitch controller is any good. Okay. Boy, this is a lot cleaner. It obviously did get water in it, but this unit right here was the telemetry module that relays the voltage back to the transmitter. Why is it so clean? I bet the little tiny leak that I was talking about yesterday is in the stern, and over time it filled there. And when the guys recovered the boat, they tilted everything forward, and the water flowed from that stern compartment into the front compartment. Because this is perfectly clean. There's no scum. There's no nothing. Now it did get wet from obviously pulling all that forward, but everything in the front looks brand new. I should be able to strip this apart. I might be able to salvage this because it will just have been wet from yesterday. That's good. Overall thoughts on the watertight cylinder. This end is going to need to get rebuilt. This end looks like it should be very salvageable. Like very salvageable. So it's time to reach out with some options to the customer and see what that's going to look like. I'll be honest with you, it's awesome to have the boat back, but what I see in front of me now are weeks and weeks of work to get it back up to speed again, which is not what I was hoping for right now. I have a Sea Wolf that's waiting to get on the bench, and it's clean, and it's not full of pond scum. That would have been a lot more fun to work on. All right, well, we have options. We will reach out, figure out what's going to go on, And in the meantime, I think I'm going to put some paint on the shark. Did a little white dental work and some little bit of the blood. In all the pictures and everything, they've always got blood in their teeth. I don't know. It looks cool. But anyhow, got the eyes, got the nostrils, got the teeth. Hit it with a little gloss to lock everything in. We're ready for final testing. That is where we're at with the shark. You just got to do a little test of the watertight integrity of the box and put her in the top secret test facility. See how she does. It's Wednesday. And back in the shop, packed up some orders. They're all set to go for me to do waybills a little bit later on. We need to figure out what we're going to do with the Virginia hull from a cosmetic perspectives. Let's take a look and see what I've goofed around with. So I think actually, as the hull dries out, these blisters are beginning to settle a little bit. They're still textured, but instead of giant blisters, it's more of a pebbly kind of feel to it. This could settle out nicely. But what I did here, I got on Amazon for $9 this rubber roller. And the thought behind this was that I could roll out the blisters, pop the water out. That was the thinking behind it anyway. So I'm going to goof around with that. If that doesn't work, the other thing I want to try is a little bit of fire. Well, this whole flameage situation may be working. So what I got here is my handy dandy torch and my roller. So you can see this pebbly texture here. Let's give this a try. I tried it a little bit on the back part of the hull there. I'm just trying to soften up or boil out some of this water. And then when you do that, the little blisters burst. And when you roll it down, it's flat. This is working pretty cool. Well, after a few minutes of work, this is what we got here. The heat and the roller is the secret sauce to this. When you hit it with the heat, the water boils underneath, explodes, and you roll it down and it flattens it out. So now it's more of a painted texture versus an actual physical texture, which isn't to say you can't still feel it, but honestly, guys, I don't think you could create a patina like this if you tried. I really like it. Now, I know some of you are going to disagree. Oh, it's America's submarine. We would never let it run like that. That's fine. But this particular boat now has a story that no other one can boast. I think clear coating this and running it as it is would be a huge opportunity to strike up conversation at the pond and let people know about the storied history of this USS Texas. I'm going to reach out to the customer. I'll let them know what my thoughts are. I really hope we go this way. It would save us having to get new decals. It would save me having to redo the hull, but that's not why I'm making the request. I just think this would be the most unique and super cool Virginia that you could ever hope for. Well, wrapping up in the shop here, and I just wanted to point something out real quick. Got a mystery shipment from Amazon the other day, and I opened this up. I'm like, I didn't order any of this. One of you guys out there is like, you know what? There's a bunch of stuff that you probably need. I'm just gonna buy it and ship it to you. That's pretty darn nice. The kind of stuff that you always use. We got waterproof connectors, some quick couplers, wire connectors, some solder joint connectors, some fuses, and some heat shrink. Who doesn't need this stuff? You guys are seriously awesome. Thank you. So, new day. I'm gonna start tearing into the cylinder for Virginia. See if we can get this thing fired up again. Good news. Talked to the customer yesterday through a series of many emails and photos, and he said, "Hey, let's do it. Let's keep the patina on the boat. He wants me to touch up a few of the little dots that where the paint actually came off, which is totally fair. Should be easy enough to do. So what I'm doing now, to the best of my ability here, is pulling out all the old, flooded, presumably completely messed up and no longer functional parts of the rear of the cylinder here. So you can see, you know, they sat in the water, so the water will have seeped in there. Maybe we'll pull one apart. We'll take it apart and we'll see. This switch for the auxiliary propulsion unit is presumably dead as well. We'll get rid of that. But I think the electronic speed controller is fine. We'll clean that up. And then we got the electronic pitch controller in there as well. I don't know. That may have survived. We'll see. We can take the cover off, clean it up with some alcohol. We'll do the same thing with the receiver, and we'll see if it lived. But I'm going to get the servos out, and then we're going to take this motor out as well and see what we can do about selecting a new power plant for this thing. Okay, we got one of the servos out. Well, I got them both out, but we're going to take this one apart, and we'll just see. Let's just see what's inside. See if we can get this focused on. Oh, yeah, that's a little crusty and nasty. Yikes. Yikes. All right. Yeah, it's seized too. Can't move it. New servos it is. All right, time to get this motor out. In order to do that, I need to take the universal joint off so that we can unscrew everything here and slip the stuffing box off the unit. But this is seized on there, unfortunately. So what we're going to do, we're going to use a little heat up the universal joint. That should expand it a little bit. We'll see if we can slip it off. Let's see what we can do. I got paper underneath, so that should make it really exciting when my table catches on fire. And I'm only heating up the universal joint, not the shaft, because we want the universal joint to expand, not the shaft. Oh boy. This is not coming off. So we got it off. The end of that shaft looks really gross, but we will clean this all up. And by the way, I took the brass wire brush to the universal joint, and it's looking pretty good now too. Okay, to get this out, all you do is unscrew it and decompresses the seal. These are pretty slick units, I have to say. Oh, lots of nice grease in there. Okay, yuck. Clean this up so I don't get it all over my hands in my fancy work shirt. Oh yeah, beautiful. Look at that shiny brass right there. All right, so we'll unscrew this mounting flange with the screwdriver that I had a moment. And then we can bring the mounting flange into the storeroom and start delving through my collection of motors to see what we've got there. Could go brushless, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we'll put another brush motor in there, a nice beefy brushed motor. We'll have to see what I got. So the cool thing, I think, about the fact that this cylinder was leaking so slowly is the boat had settled before the water slowly filled just the little bottom of the cylinder. As such, some of the equipment on the tray is good. This is the original electronic pitch controller. Look at it. It's working. Burp, 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 burp. It looks good. Really good. All right. That's good. Save $60 right there. Here's our motor. Let's grab this, and we will go into my vault of RC submarine awesomeness and see what we can find for a replacement motor. So this is my gizmos and guts storage room. Switches and solenoids and pumps and motors and all sorts of things I've collected. I've got a reversing relay. I think we're going to use this for our auxiliary pump. So let's put that in the pocket. Let's just put that in the pocket. All right, let's see what we got for motors. Should we go insanity? Should we just go straight direct replacement? Should we go brushless? What do we got for ooh, I forgot I had these. This might be fun. This mounts differently though. Dang it, mounts on the back, not on the front. Shoot. This mounts on the front. What's this? Oh. Let me take a look through all this stuff and come up with options. All right, these are the two options I settled on. My old tried and true 650 kilovolt brushless upgrade, or an actual OEM drop-in OTW motor combination thing. It even has the shaft on it already, which would save me a lot of hassle. The Virginia, when we tested her, moved along at a pretty decent pace. It'd be nice to get a few more erpums out of that stern. And I'm thinking the brushless motor would do it. We did those calculations earlier. Do you remember for the... what boat was that? We did those calculations earlier for that cylinder that we just did. 650 kilovolts times 12 volts. And it ends up with a healthy RPM. 7,800 RPM. On 12 volts on that thing, which I think is good. I think that's good. I think we're going to go that route. Brushless motors are more efficient. They don't like down and dirty and torquey, but this is the prop we're talking about here, people. We're not talking about an 18-inch propeller or anything. That thing is probably 2 inches, which is not a heck of a lot bigger than the actual diameter of the brushless motor. So let's go this route, and then what I can do is use this electronic speed controller to power this motor, and I can reuse this electronic speed controller for the auxiliary propulsion unit. Next thing I want to do is figure out if our receiver is shot, and I got some power here, and when I plug it in, nothing happens. We get no lightage. I'll test it with a different battery pack just to make sure, but if this still doesn't light up, you know what? We're going to take this apart, give it a little scrub with some alcohol and a soft bristle toothbrush, see if we can clean up those contact points, bring it back to life. If not, it's a $35 receiver. It's not the end of the world, but it'd be nice to not have to spend that money. Well, I'm glad I checked with the other battery pack. Guess what, boys and girls? It's alive. That's pretty freaking cool. Yeah. All right, so now I guess what I can start doing is cleaning up my equipment tray here and start reinstalling some new components. I forgot to get servos. Why didn't you remind me to get servos when I was in my storage room? Now I have to walk all the way to the other side of the house. New motor is in, mounted, cleaned up, looking sharp. Servos in, tested, working perfectly. So just got to bolt those down, and then we're going to start moving on to our receiver and pitch controller and all the things. So I got to think some of you are wondering, just out of curiosity, is the old motor still functional? Let's find out. I don't know. My guess is yes. These old brush motors are pretty robust. Let's see what happens. Would it last for a month? Would it last for a year? Would it last for 5 years? Who knows? All right, boys and girls, it's Saturday morning, and I'm wrapping things up in the shop for the week. We need to get set for next week. Let's recap where we're at. Virginia recovered. That's kind of a big deal, right? I'm going to do the final hull cleanup, clear it, clean it. It'll be ready to go. We're halfway through refurbishing the cylinder. Things are going really, really well in that regard. I think this is going to get done maybe next week. We'll see. Shark is going to get tested out probably today for water integrity and maybe run. We'll see how that goes, but that'll be in next week's video. Speaking of the Shark, basically we are all done in terms of the production of the Shark. Just final testing and getting the video all edited up so people know how to get it put together. So next couple weeks, look for the STL package and the potential for a physical kit that you'll be able to purchase and build your very own RC Shark. For the physical hull, there'll be options for the resin version, which is what this guy is built out of. Or, if you want the ultimate strength, probably going to have to pay a little more for it because it's a massive amount of printing. I am just printing out the first in high strength fiberglass reinforced ABS plastic. So this Shark is going to be bulletproof, maybe a little bit more, open to mishandling or bumping up against the sides of the pool or wherever you're running it. So again, options for STL files, resin hull, or ABS hull. Look for that on the website. And I just got something in. Customer said I got this brand new, untouched, completely unmolested 30-second parallel Type 7 kit. I just opened it up. I took all the photos. I'm going to be making a listing for it. It's like a time capsule. It goes right back to when these things were originally produced. This is it all wrapped up. I'm going to get it put back in the box there, but maybe I'll flash some pictures. You can take a look and see what that looks like. Comes with everything that a brand new 30-second parallel Type 7 kit would have come with, including the gas torpedo system and not one, but two SureFlow high flow pumps. I gotta think those things alone are worth at least $100. So it is going to be going up at a steal of a deal. You need to grab it before it goes. So if you're after a big Type 7, this is what you need to grab, boys and girls. Last but not least, our Typhoon didn't see any love this week at all. Other things to go on. It just needs to get trimmed. I may get it in the water today. Depends how things go. And queued up for next week, we're going to bust out our Ocean Master Seawolf by TT Robotics. Like I told you when we got that thing out when Logan was still here. Probably going to be my personal boat, but I've got two. So I'm going to test it out, throw it in the pool, see what it does, and you guys can determine whether or not it's something you want to get. You guys already know about Renee and her diagnosis, but part of what we've got going on is what she likes to call hot girl summer. And so we made a point to carve out some time. We're going to go to Las Vegas and just enjoy ourselves for a few days. We're not back until Thursday, which means nothing is going to get done until Friday at the earliest of next week, which means 1, maybe 2 days in the shop. So look for a short video next week. Other than that, though, we're done for the week. This was a fun video to put together with the recovery of the Texas, with the Shark getting done, with the refurbishment of that Virginia. It's been a blast. I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you did, don't forget, like and subscribe. Helps us out a lot. With that, I'm going to let you go. You have a great rest of your day. And as always, we'll catch you next time.